Have you ever felt like you are walking through fire? I don't mean a literal fire. I mean that feeling when life becomes so harsh, so demanding, and so relentlessly difficult that you feel like you are evaporating. You feel dry. You feel empty. You wake up in the morning already exhausted, looking at a day that promises nothing but more heat, more pressure, and no relief. I ask this because when I traveled to this desert to film the life of a camel, I thought I was just filming an animal. But as I stood there, with the sun beating down on my neck and the sand burning through the soles of my shoes, I realized I was looking at a mirror of the human condition. I was looking at what it means to survive when the environment is trying to kill you. The desert is not a kind place. It is indifferent. It doesn't care if you were tired. It doesn't care if you were thirsty. And it was into this unforgiving oven that this baby camel was born. When I first saw him lying on the scorching sand, he looked impossibly fragile.
Stay right here in the shadow.
His legs were long and knobby, trembling as he tried to lift his own weight. His fur was matted and wet. He looked like a mistake. How could something so soft survive in a place so hard? I watched him try to stand up. He fell. He tried again. He fell again. It wasn't graceful. It was painful to watch. I found myself wanting to look away or to rush in and help him. But in the desert, pity is a luxury that no one can afford. He had to stand. If he didn't stand, he would die. This reminds me of those moments in our lives when we are knocked down by a tragedy or a failure or a sudden loss. We lie there in the dust, feeling the weight of the world pressing us down, and we wonder, do I really have to get up again? Can't I just stay here? But the camel stood, shaking, wobbling, but standing, and thus began the long walk. The journey of the camel is not like the journey of the horse. It isn't about speed. It isn't about the thrill of the wind in your hair or the glory of the sprint. The journey of the camel is about something much harder. It is about endurance. Day after day, I watched them walk. The scenery never changed, just dune after dune of endless yellow sand. It was monotonous, it was boring, and it was brutal. I think this is where most of us break. We can handle a crisis if it's short and exciting. We can handle a sprint. But the long, slow grind, the months of unemployment, the years of building a business with no profit, the slow healing of a chronic illness, that is the desert. That is the silence that drives us mad. There were times during filming when a sandstorm would roll in. The sky would turn a terrifying shade of orange, and the wind would scream like a banshee. The sand wasn't just sand anymore. It was millions of tiny needles tearing at the skin. And do you know what the camel did? He didn't run. You can't outrun a sandstorm. He didn't panic. He simply closed his nostrils, he closed his eyes, he knelt down, and he waited. He understood something that we often forget. Sometimes the only way to win the battle is to sit still and let the storm pass over you. We humans, we fight the storm. We scream at the wind. We waste our precious energy trying to change things that are out of our control. The camel conserves his energy. He knows that the storm is temporary, but his mission is permanent. As he grew older, I noticed the physical changes. The hump on his back grew larger. We often look at camels and think they are strange-looking creatures. We think they are ugly. But that hump is his superpower. It is his reserve. It is the fat and the fuel that keeps him alive when there is no food and no water for weeks. It made me think about the burdens we carry. We all have baggage. We all have scars, past traumas, and heavy responsibilities. We look at them as ugly things. We wish we could get rid of them. But what if your burden is actually your fuel? What if the hard things you have gone through are the very source of energy that will allow you to survive this dry season? The camel doesn't complain about the hump. He carries it with dignity. He knows that without it, he would perish. There was a moment deep in the expedition when the heat was so intense that the air itself was shimmering. I was dizzy. I was hallucinating water on the horizon, mirages of blue lakes that didn't exist. The camel saw them too, I'm sure, but he didn't deviate from his path. He didn't chase the illusion of easy relief. He kept putting one heavy foot in front of the other. This is the hardest lesson of the desert. We live in a world of mirages. We are promised get-rich-quick schemes, instant happiness, overnight success. We see these shimmering illusions and we run towards them, only to find dry sand. The camel knows the truth. He knows that the only way to the real oasis is through the sand, step by step. He has calloused knees from kneeling on rocks. He has thick, leathery legs so he can eat thorns without bleeding. He has adapted to his pain. He hasn't asked for the desert to be softer. He has built a tougher skin. Finally, after weeks of walking, we reached the water. It wasn't a grand ocean. It was just a small, muddy pool under a few palm trees. But to watch him drink, it was pure joy. He didn't rush, he didn't fight, he just drank deeply, replenishing his soul. Watching him standing there, silhouetted against the setting sun, looking like an ancient king of the wasteland, I felt a deep sense of peace. He wasn't the fastest animal, he wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the most beautiful, but he was the one who was still standing. The journey of the camel taught me that resilience isn't about never falling down. It isn't about never feeling thirsty or tired. Resilience is the quiet refusal to stop walking. If you are listening to this and you feel like you are in your own desert right now, if the heat is unbearable and the water seems so far away, if you feel ugly and burdened and tired of the grind, please look at this camel. Your burden is your fuel. The storm will pass if you just wait it out. And the oasis is real. It is not a mirage, but you have to keep walking to find it. You don't need to run. You don't need to fly. Just take one more step, and then another. You are built for this. Keep walking.